Hello everyone, and welcome to Mr. Simplifies Tutorials. In this video we are going to look at PESTLE analysis, which is an important management framework. Now, what is this management framework used for? What is PESTLE analysis used for? And obviously PESTLE, P-E-S-T-L-E, stands for something which we are going to look at. And it actually is a tool, a framework used to analyze the external factors affecting various projects, brands, or businesses overall. Now, it's important to understand that various internal and external factors can affect the functioning of a current project that you have undertaken, or a brand on the whole, or your entire business. And a lot of these internal and external factors change all the time, and it's important to stay on top of understanding these factors and understanding how they influence your business. Now, SWOT analysis is another management tool, another framework used to understand the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats corresponding to a project or a business. And in terms of PESTLE analysis, it links in quite well with SWOT analysis, because the opportunities and the threats part of it links in quite well with PESTLE analysis, because there are factors which are external to the business which come into play there. We're going to look at SWOT analysis in detail in another video, so don't worry if you found that bit of explanation to be slightly confusing. As I just mentioned, the factors that we study under PESTLE analysis are out of control for the business. They cannot be controlled by the business. These are external factors like regulations and law, and businesses can't control them. Governments control them. So let's have a look at some of these factors and how these factors are categorized. Now, what does PESTLE stand for? PESTLE stands for P for political, E for economic, S for social, T for technological, L for legal, and E for environmental. Now, these are like the categories in which these external issues facing the business or the project are categorized under. So because there are like 6 categories, most of these external factors that affect businesses or projects will fall under at least one of these categories, if not multiple categories. And over the course of this video, you will understand that in most situations a lot of these factors are interconnected. So a certain factor can be political and technological or environmental at the same time, because it's obvious to understand, easy to understand, that politicians set laws, whether it's economical laws or legal regulations or environmental laws. So it's all linked to one another, but it's important to classify them and categorize them and understand how they impact your business. So if we look at political factors to begin with, that stands for P for PESTLE. These would be government tax policies, regulations. If there's an increase in taxation in the city, in the country overall, that would affect the business, obviously. Business regulation policies that affect governing businesses. Government laws on competition in the marketplace. For instance, if there is a sort of a monopoly in the marketplace that you're operating in, and the government provides incentives to newer organizations and cuts down the incentives provided to regular organizations like yourself, that can have an effect on your business, and that can be classified under political influencing factors. And now we look at economic. Now, for instance, if the exchange rate has gone down, or basically your country's currency has devalued in the global financial markets, that can be an economic factor affecting your organization. If you obviously import, export, etc., or procure goods from overseas. The national GDP obviously has an impact on absolutely everything to do with businesses and everyday life. And what if there is a reduction or an increase in public spending power? That would definitely have an effect, and these are like the economical factors that can affect your project or your business on the whole. What about social factors? Now, social factors could be a basic change in styles or choices of the population, something that's very much in style, in fashion at the moment, can just be phased out in no time whatsoever, because consumer tastes change all the time, and that can impact your project or your organization on the whole. Change in the population demographics. Now, for instance, if your target market, if the segment of the market in your geographical location of operation is a particular ethnic group, for instance, and that ethnic group has suddenly moved over to a different part of the world, etc. These sort of changes are social changes, and that can affect your business. Community groups and pressure groups. Now, there can be various pressure groups and community groups that can influence, that can voice their opinion against or for your organization, causing a change and becoming an influential factor in that way. So these are sort of like the social factors. And what about technological factors? A sudden rapid technological progress or sudden innovation in technology can obviously have an impact, because if everybody's moved on, everybody has adopted different technological ways of doing certain things, and you haven't, then obviously you'd be left behind. Or if you're way ahead of the block and spending too much money on technology, whereas nobody else is, and everybody else is looking for economical ways of doing things, then obviously that's something that you'd be looking under, but that would be categorized under technology. Now, improvement in production technology, something very commonly experienced by manufacturing and consumer goods companies. Data storage and protection technologies, something that affects most businesses once they're larger than a small scale, or once they cross that small to medium enterprise bracket, I would say. Legal factors. What can be legal factors? These are like factors relating to wages or employment. These could be taxation changes, like company taxation policy changes. These could be just changes in regulations relating to working practices in your industry in particular. So various legal factors. Obviously you could see that these factors tie in very well with the political factors that we saw to begin with, and there is an evident link between all of these factors. Environmental or ethical factors, as they're called sometimes as well. Now, these often relate to corporate social responsibilities, environment factors. Now, obviously, global warming and sustainability are like very hot topics in the modern day, for good reason. Obviously, the environment needs to be protected, so your carbon emissions, your carbon footprint become very important factors. And then if there are changes in environment regulations, some of these changes can affect you directly, so it's important to understand them, important to study them, important to understand how they're affecting your project or your business. As mentioned previously, there is a good link between PESTLE and SWOT, but obviously since I haven't covered SWOT analysis in this channel yet, I will do that. And in the video that I produce about SWOT analysis, explaining what it is and the various factors that we look at when we consider studying SWOT analysis, we will look at the link between PESTLE and SWOT. Okay, hopefully that was a good introduction to PESTLE analysis, and I hope you found this video useful as per the other, in line with the other videos in the channel, and I hope you find all of them very useful. I wish to continue producing tutorial videos like these. If there are any topics of interest that you want me to cover, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for visiting this video if you visited this channel for the first time, and please like this content, please support this channel and subscribe and spread the word. Thank you very much. Goodbye.